We will actually get this work, I hope. All right, it's in progress again.
All gonna
Yeah.
work out.
Okay.
So welcome, everybody. This is the Maynard Zoning Board of Appeals. It's 7:05 p.m. on the 27th of February, 2025. And let's introduce the members. I'm Paul Shiner, the chairman. John,
John Corrill, member of the ZBA.
Leslie,
Leslie Bryant, member of the ZBA.
vacationing Jerry,
I'm vacationing only 7 months a year. That's all now. Come on, Paul. Yeah, Jerry Calvert, board member.
Brad.
Brad Schultz, alternate member.
Excellent. So that's who we are. We have a couple items on the agenda today. First one is to review the minutes and approve the minutes from sometime last fall, November 25th. Did everybody have a chance to look those over?
Yes.
I did.
Yes.
I had found one correction.
I made that, Mr. Chair.
Okay, and that was to put Brad's first name on Brad's listing.
Yeah, it wasn't wrong. It just wasn't there.
Yeah.
It was,
Any other corrections or alterations? Do I get a motion to approve?
I make a
Nope.
motion to approve the minutes of the November 25th, 2024 meeting of the Zoning Board of Appeals with the correction as so noted.
Do I get a second? Gary?
Second.
I heard get in my car.
So,
Would you like
roll call, in favor, John,
Yes.
Leslie,
Yes.
Jerry,
Yes.
Brad,
Yes.
and I'm yes as well. So we approve the minutes. Now we have a public hearing for 20 Walcott Street. The application is filed by the owners James Rohr and Rebecca Solomon at 20 Walcott Street, seeking a special permit approval to construct additions to the front and side of the property, which would extend existing nonconformities, northerly front setback. They want requirement is 25 feet, but they only have 10, and an easterly front setback. They require 25 feet, but they only have 13. The subject property is a pre-existing non-conforming single-family dwelling on a non-conforming lot due to insufficient frontage area, width, setbacks, and other inside setbacks located in the general residence. And so we will have the petitioner state their case, and we will then deliberate and so forth. So I believe that's you up there, James and Rebecca. You can.
Yes.
Yep.
Nice to meet you guys. We also, I think, have some neighbors joining us on this thing too. Just our next door and across the street and down the street a little bit.
Good. We'll get to them in a minute, but first you want to state why we
Yeah.
want to make a motion for you or not.
Sure. We'll
okay.
let's just get right into it. So we bought our house in the summer of 2003. Our daughters were born and raised and educated in Maynard. We've lived here for almost 22 years. Friends and neighbors that we love. And we've been privileged to see this town grow and change, and we love it here. And can't imagine living anywhere else. Last April, we had a house fire. It was contained in the basement. Thankfully, no one was hurt. It was electrical in cause, and since the fire was mostly in the basement, or all in the basement, that was fine. But the house suffered extensive smoke damage, toxic smoke, and so had to be completely gutted. It's been challenging, but we're grateful that no one got hurt, and we're all here and healthy. And Becca's going to give you an overview of.
Right. So we just wanted to share what this experience has been. Unfortunately, our first insurance adjuster was negligent and egregiously mishandled our claim. He was fired, but not before he let our house sit with all of the toxic soot on all of our belongings for 5 months, and he closed out the claim without letting anybody know. So this complicated things a lot for us. By the end of August, we were actually assigned new adjusters, and we were really excited to be moving forward. And then unfortunately, due to miscommunication or incompetence, or we don't even really know what, instead of having us go through all of our belongings to salvage what could be salvaged, without our knowledge or consent, they dumped all of our belongings in a landfill and did not recover them. So that was all of our family photos, all of our furniture that maybe would have been able to be salvaged, our desks that included their contents still intact, which was like all our tax returns and jewelry and money, all our kids' treasures, all that stuff. So that part's an ongoing issue that we're dealing with a mitigation company and that did that, and our insurance company.
Yeah.
Do you want me to say this?
Yeah.
Okay. So, all right. So first, we're so grateful that we were able to keep the, basic shell of the house, and especially that nobody was hurt. But it hasn't been a great situation, and we have an opportunity to turn something that's been really challenging for our family into something really positive, and just make a lot of lemons out of this lemonade out of the Cradle Lemons. And that's why we're hoping to make some changes to our house to make it even more wonderful, because we really have to redo the whole thing. So before, we had a kitchen, living room, dining room on the first floor, and 2 bedrooms and a bathroom on the second floor. And we're really keeping that mostly, with a few changes. We'd like to convert we had a screened-in porch, and we'd like to convert that porch space into year-round livable area so that we could put in another bathroom. But because we fell in love with the house because of the porch, we wanted to maintain some similar space, and that's why we wanted to put on a screen-in deck on the back. And in order to accommodate that, we are going to be taking down the existing garage to comply with the building codes on that.
Yeah, and our architect Donnie Garrity from O'Sullivan Architects and our contractor Joe Fruciano from North Shore Design have worked in Maynard before, and had good experience with everyone here. And for this project, we have been working with the planning director and building commissioner to make sure what we have here is respectful of all the bylaws and variances. And hopefully, we think this project is indicative of that. And hopefully, we can get some additional living space and improve our property, and hopefully the neighborhood too. And I think that's about all we have to say about that, right?
Yeah, unless you have questions.
One thing that I'm curious about, you said the garage.
Yeah.
You're taking it down because of something. I didn't understand why.
There's a deck on, I think on the drawings you guys have, we were wanting to put a deck on the back of the house. And I guess the variances don't allow.
It was too close
the garage.
to
There's
the existing
structure,
garage,
which is kind of half fallen down anyway. So we figured, why not just take
it down.
thing down, and then.
Yeah.
Okay, but you're not taking it down because of some rule. You're taking it down because it's in your way.
No, we were taking it down because it wasn't going to. We couldn't make the deck. It wasn't going to be in compliance. According to what our architect, what our architect was told by, was it? I don't know. Did he talk with Bill or?
I'm not sure who he talked to.
I'm not sure he talked to, but there was something that wasn't allowed, and so we're happy to just take the garage down for that reason.
Yeah, and I believe he said if you do that, then it shouldn't be.
Then it shouldn't be an issue.
The deck shouldn't be a problem, just based on the variances.
Bill, do you know what they're talking about?
Yes.
Thank you.
Essentially, the garage that was moved. Well, let me back up a minute. This is a nonconformity because of the size of the lot. So everything in it is nonconforming according to current regulations. There was a garage that was just about on the property line. It's not the rear property line because it's a 2 frontage street, so it's on the side. And so what the building commissioner had recommended here, I'll share it too, so you can see here, was that, as the applicant said, removing the garage, makes it, more compliant and eliminates the need for variance. Also, I think was what Rick was thinking here. But can you see this now?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you can see where the garage here, let's see, this is the current garage here, 0 setback here. The new structure would go in here.
Mhm.
And I think Rick's reasoning was that if they're going to do something new here I'm not 100% sure of his thinking on this, but that the new structure would lessen the nonconformity. So everything that's being proposed either lessens the nonconformity or stays the same. And by removing the garage, it brings it into more conformance with it as well.
Like
Okay,
that.
if they're in agreement with that, that's fine. I just was confused as to the source of the logic.
Okay, thank you.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Yeah, we're okay with that.
Absolutely.
So do you have a plot plan there showing what the new building would look like?
Yes,
We
you guys
do.
should have
You
that.
you don't have that one?
I'm not sure what I got.
We submitted it
I
last.
could,
Oh, is that next diagram? With a little porch and stairs behind?
Yeah.
Perhaps, yes.
That sounds like it might be.
I'll share it. I've got it here. I think if this is the
Thank
one.
Sorry, we just have a hard copy. We don't have it on our.
Okay, no worries. This, I've got,
Yeah, is that it? Is that what your new plan is?
Yes, that's for the. Yep, that's
The-
the first floor. Here's the deck, and
That
that's the
looks
kitchen.
pretty close.
Yeah.
That's,
Right?
I'm not sure that's the updated one, but that's pretty darn close. Yeah. Oh, no, actually that is.
Yeah, that is
I'm sorry.
correct.
Yeah,
That's
that is the
correct.
one.
Okay,
Just looking at it the
so
wrong.
basically you squared off the house a little
Yes.
bit in that front corner.
Yes.
Yeah.
yeah, you can see this is roughly, well, my line is terrible, but that's the 25-foot setback.
Okay. And so what you are asking from the board here is a continuation of which setback lines?
These, I think I can probably show you those better. So the new structure here, right, this, right now the set, the side, this is actually the side setback. So it's at 1.5 here. So right here, they're extending the nonconformity a little bit into the 25 setback here. But there's an existing nonconformity already with the garage.
So I'm trying to get a handle on extending or creating. And that line you drew looks like it's creating.
Well, it is, I see your point, but remember, right now there's a garage there. They're proposing to remove that.
Yeah, the garage is out of the way, so I'm looking at the house footprint.
That's right. And
And the house footprint, is it extending or creating?
it is extending, and they're going to remove what it was encroaching in there, but there's already an extension. There's already an encroachment into the side setback as of this minute. And the size of the lot renders it really impractical to recreate the house anyway where it could be.
I understand those. I'm just trying to see, to me, an extending would be like taking that dotted line on the right side of the building and drawing it further to the front, to the bottom there. That would be an extension in my mind. Yeah, draw straight up now, Bill.
This?
Yeah, that, if you'd extend that, to me, that's an extension.
Yeah. Well, it is, but remember what we're talking about here now is regarding is involving the interpretation of the Attorney General on single family and two family houses. Here, I'll pull this one up. In that, if there's an existing nonconformity, and here, I'll pull this up and let me share this now. If there's an existing nonconformity, this was a change. It was a couple of years ago we started working with, and here where we go, staff report. This guy here. In a situation where an existing nonconformity is extended or increased by a proposal, a special permit is the appropriate mechanism. So in this case, there is an existing nonconformity, extended or increased. The special permit is the appropriate mechanism. What we're trying to avoid here is the variance, as you know.
Yeah, I understand that, Bill.
Does that
And
make
what
sense?
I'm looking at is, I don't want to do a variance. I would look at a special permit for sure.
Sure.
But what I'm trying to get a clarification on is if you look at that map of the house with that dotted line on the right,
Yeah.
extending it, you're not giving an increased nonconformity. You're just extending an existing nonconformity by pushing out that little screened porch screened porch on the bottom.
On the Lewis Creek, on the Lewis
Yes.
side, yes.
Yes. So you're simply extending a pre-existing nonconformity.
That is correct.
And the other one that you're looking at, that's not the only nonconformity, is it? Because you're going to put a screen porch on the front of on the Walcott Street side?
Well, on the walk, yeah, but
On
Oh.
the Walcott Street side is where we currently have the screened in porch, and it's an L shape, which is why it says the front and side.
Right.
Okay, so it's the other side of that, the proposed addition. I missed that, sorry.
So
Yeah.
that's the part that's going to get turned into livable space and extend that. There's one little piece in front that didn't have the porch on it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, exactly.
right.
And then
And again, that is an extension of an existing nonconformity.
Exactly.
Not, you're not pushing out new stuff. It's simply drawing
No.
the line more square.
yes, exactly. Yeah,
Okay, that's what
Yeah.
I'm trying to get at. Just, what's the change in footprint?
gotcha.
And it is not going more into the setbacks.
No.
It's simply extending the lines of the setbacks.
Exactly. Yes.
Correct.
Okay. And this coverage of the lot actually goes down because you're destroying the garage.
Yes.
Like that. Yeah.
Okay. So I will take a pause and see if any of the board members have questions.
I was just, this sounds really ignorant to be asking it at this point, but can we go back to that map and just show me front, rear, side?
Yeah. There is no rear, remember? There's
Okay,
no rear.
There's two fronts and two sides.
Right.
just
So I
two
can't show you that, Leslie.
sides. Okay,
I can only show you.
okay.
No, it's confusing because, and in the new bylaws that we drafted, we put they have a graph, they have a graphic in there to just because people were getting confused with that. But so this counts as a front here, Leslie.
Yeah,
Front. So this is a side, and this is a side.
okay.
Oh, I like my pen. Look at that.
Getting better.
Well, yeah.
Okay, front. And so where is your front door, like, and where will you have your driveway?
The front door is on Walcott Street, so that
Yeah.
it's right in there. And
Yeah.
the drive, we do have a driveway, which will not go away. That won't change. That's
Yeah.
that's kind of on the edge of the Lewis Street, that back side or whatever.
So where the
Yeah.
garage was, the garage
Right.
was at the back of the driveway.
Yeah,
The driveway is still there in
Still
front
remains.
of it. And
Uh.
where our front door had been was you enter through the screen porch, and then you go through the front door. And we're going to have the front door essentially in the same place. It's just going to be moved out to accommodate, instead of being a door and a door because it's screen porch, since that'll be a mudroom kind of a thing. So it'll be in the same place in terms of where it is on the street. It'll just move forward.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, any other questions, Leslie?
No.
All right. John had his hand up.
Yeah, the question, Bill, can you put that back up? Sorry.
Yeah.
This is a great practice tonight, Bill. You're really getting good at it.
Yeah. Look at that. I can draw something too if you want, John.
Yeah.
So my question is, on the south side where the garage was, there was a 1.7 foot setback where the garage going. On this, it says that's getting removed, so the setback will be 15 feet on this chart. But on the table on the other sheet, it said that 15 was actually 21 feet. I'm just trying to figure out which is right.
I think I could answer that for you, John. I think that 15 feet is just demarking the setback triangle.
Okay.
And the 21 feet actually probably goes to the stairs.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Okay.
Gotcha. Thank you.
I'm gonna just leave that thing up.
Yeah, if they stayed within the setback requirements here, then all they could put on there is one of these micro houses.
Mhm.
It's pretty micro already.
Yeah.
So Jerry, any questions?
No, I'm good, Paul. The clarifications, the questions you kept going at helped me understand exactly what was happening. Garage went away and it basically squared out the house, defined the house itself. That's all you're doing is really
Yes.
better defining it. And I'm good with that. I'm good. I have no other questions. Thank you.
Okay. Brad, I've left you out. Any questions?
No, actually, everything looks very straightforward.
Great.
Mr. Chair, we do have some members of the public here.
Good, thanks for reminding me. I keep forgetting that part of the meeting. So is there anybody that wishes to speak in favor of this petition?
I would.
Peter, go ahead.
So I'm Jim and Becca's next door neighbor at 18 Walcott Street.
Oh, Peter, I'm sorry, could you, if you could just announce your name and your address, just for the record.
Oh, sure. Peter Hunt, 18 Walcott Street.
Thank you.
Okay. Is it okay to go ahead and speak now?
Yeah, sure, please.
Okay, great. So I think Jim and Becca's house and our house and the house on the other side, I think we're all built on the same model and then modified in various ways. Our house and 16 have been pushed out to the front and both have decks on the back. In fact, the back deck on the house next to us at 16 was made into part of the house. It was originally a 3-season deck and was made into a 4-season room as part of the house. Yeah, so I'm totally happy to have Jim and Becca, push their house out in whatever way they want. What works for them. I know they've been through a lot with the fire.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I'm afraid I've got to run. I've got a couple of things to take care of.
Thanks, Peter.
I appreciate your comments.
Yeah,
Peter.
Thanks.
Anyone else wishes to speak in favor?
Yes, please. This is Laurel Buckley. I'm at 22 Walcott Street, so just on the other side of Jim and Becca, and just totally supporting what they're trying to do. They've been through a lot. They've got a, lot of stake in the community. They've been great neighbors for well over 20 years now. So just wanted to show some support tonight.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yep.
So that looks like anybody that's already on the meeting. I don't see anybody wanting to join. We still have a Genesee person here. Did you want to say anything or are you just observing?
Oh, Janice, it is, oh, I don't know if, can you hear me?
You're on mute.
Oh, yeah. Let's see, asked on mute. Janice, can you hear me?
We can hear you. Oh, Janice.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry.
She might be on some, I know she's coming from work, but,
Can you hear me?
Oh,
Now
there
we
you
can.
are.
Yes,
Okay.
go ahead.
Sorry. there you are.
Sorry, I was having some technical difficulties, interestingly enough. I'm Janice Canales. I spoke with Bill, I think a couple of days ago. I'm actually new to Maynard, but I am a zoning attorney for a telecommunications company in Massachusetts. We're national, but I work out of Woburn.
So in this particular case, I just wondered if you had any comments.
Oh, no, none.
Okay, thank
Just
you.
observing, as I just suggested that she come into, she's interested in joining a board or committee, and I thought it would be good if she attended this, see us at work.
Okay. Well, welcome.
Thank you.
So now what do? We need to have our discussions. So board members, and Bill, I can never get this straight as to how I closed a public comment versus not closing the public meeting versus deliberating. I never get those straight, so I'll leave it up to you.
You can close, just close the public comment. You can close the hearing if you want. But then nothing new comes in, which in this case, you probably, I think you've heard most of the stuff. I just say close public comment. After anything else, close the public hearing, deliberate. And then your charge tonight would be determining if the adverse effects of the proposed use, in this case, the reconstruction, outweighs the beneficial impacts to the town. Does not outweigh it. And that you've considered the other criteria, which, we can go over if you want again too.
Yep. No, that's fine. That's fine.
Right? And
So-
then if you find it if you find it has, then you just decide if you grant the special permit as requested.
Okay. What Bill was referring to is we need to consider the impact of this project on social, economic, or community needs, traffic and parking, public services, neighborhood character, impact on the environment, and any fiscal impact. Those are the criteria that we need to consider in this case. So if we're done with getting comment out of the public, we can close that portion of the meeting and then deliberate and discuss. I don't want to close the public hearing until we're ready to take a vote on this particular case. So, board members, thoughts? No thoughts?
I'm fine with it. In terms of the things that we have to consider, I would ask that if there be any new lighting on the outside of the building, that it be in compliance with dark sky recommendations, so that, for instance, the light, any bulbs be more of an amber, and that they not trespass, the light doesn't trespass
Yeah.
onto the neighbors.
We're all
That would be
about that.
my one consideration.
Sure.
Sounds good.
Wait.
Good point there, Leslie. Gary, John, Brad, any further comments? Go ahead, John, Brad.
I think it's very rare that we actually come up to a special permit or a variance or anything like that, where we're actually making the lot more conforming than not conforming. So that's very refreshing, and I'm glad to see it, because we've talked a lot about how the property creep happens on a lot of, especially the small lots in the general residential, where a porch turns into a screen porch, which turns into a three-season porch, which becomes part of the house. This is actually happening in the front, but to actually remove buildings to make, or a building or, an accessory, to make it more compliant is,
Yeah.
conforming is refreshing, and I'm glad to see it.
Thank you. Good point. Jerry, John, any thoughts?
I mean, I agree exactly with what Brad said. Paul, you asked all the right questions before for the clarifications. I think that the building now looks like it's squared off. It will logically fit on the property better. To Brad's point, very refreshing to find an application that actually makes it look more uniform than, having all these outcroppings that somebody's trying to convince us that, well, 1.5 feet is really okay. No, not so okay. I'm good. I'm good. Excellent job, folks.
Thanks.
Me too. All good. What Jerry said.
Thanks.
So on these extensions of the nonconformities on the front and the side, as I read that map, they're not going to be any more encroaching, not even a de minimis. Is that right, Bill?
That's correct. Everything is reduced or the same.
Okay. So, and reduced encroachment, not reduced setback.
Correct. Be a
Okay.
reduction in the amount of encroachment.
Okay. So if we were to phrase a special permit on this case, we would want to indicate that it's not encroaching anymore. We're just extending the nonconformities on those two sides.
Yeah, I think that would be something we'd record in the decision, and we're going to record the actual, we're going to record the plan with the decision anyway, so it's kind of memorialized there in two places.
Okay. And as far as Leslie's point of having dark lights, I don't know if they exist, but dark
Sky compliant. Yeah,
dark
that's
sky.
yeah.
Totally.
Their contractor will know about it. And most of it is now at Home Depot or Lowe's or wherever you go, they have it. But yeah, if the board wishes, I'll just make that one of the conditions. Any new lighting will be dark sky compliant.
Sure.
Right on.
I was going to ask about the driveway. You're not going to do any improvements to the driveway?
No, that's all remaining as is.
Yeah.
So our deliberation needs to look at, as I listed, those 6 impacts. And I think the biggest one is to renovate the house and get it back on the tax rolls as a happy house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that's fiscal impact. And to clean it up, that's community needs to get a cleaned up house, neighborhood character, same issue. And the others, I don't think there are any issues. I don't think there's an impact on the environment, except maybe for the dark light, and traffic and parking and public services. They're still there. Not a change in those characteristics. So if that passes your criteria, Bill, of consideration of those other issues, then I will entertain a motion.
I think it's sufficient, Mr. Chair.
Okay. Who's going to volunteer the motion?
Wow. I'll take a stab at it, but I accidentally printed out the minutes of the last meeting instead of the
Oh, here, I can put it up.
paperwork for this. Duh.
Put it up
Okay,
here.
so I make a motion to grant the application for a special permit to create an extension of the existing non-conforming additions to the house at 20 Walcott Street, having found that there were no adverse effects that outweigh the benefits to the town.
Good. And you're going to put in your dark sky thing.
Oh, yes, and as part of the requirements, we require that any outdoor lighting be dark sky compliant.
Do I get a second?
Second.
Any further comment? Oh, the silence is deafening. But, so let's take a roll call. John,
Yes.
Leslie,
Yes.
Jerry,
Yes.
Brad,
Yes.
and I'll be a yes as well. So that's going to be for a special permit. And now I like to put Bill on the spot to give the timeline of what happens next.
So what we'll do is we'll draft up a decision that reflects the board's findings. And the way it works is it usually takes me, I can have it usually done within a week or so. And it'll be sent and recorded with the clerk in the town hall. And we will email you a copy of that. And once the clerk has that, there's a 20-day appeal period for, if somebody had an issue with it. In this case, your neighbors are there, so, but we have, that's the law.
Sure.
And at the conclusion of the appeal period, you will pick up the final, there's a certification of no appeal and then a copy of the decision. Now, this is the part that people sometimes get, to give you a heads up ahead of time. When you get that, you got to make sure it gets to the registry of deeds. And there's two reasons for that. And the registry of deeds is in Cambridge. Sometimes if you have a lawyer that you work with, their office can do it sometimes too. But just plan on a trip to Cambridge, go have lunch or something. Anyway, once the reason this has to be recorded like that is because then it becomes a permanent part of the history of your home. So if you ever do want to sell it, if you had to rebuild, God forbid, or whatever the case is, it's there, it's official. Now, you will get a receipt from them, and they'll give you a copy of your recorded decision. That's what you will need for the building commissioner, because he will not issue a permit without that. So it's basically the pain is just having to get it recorded, but no big deal. And so that's the story. So I'll say when I record it with the clerk, I'll be in touch, or Zoe will, and we'll go from there. But it should be within a week for sure.
Great.
And then do you let us know when the 20-day period is up, or should we just be thinking about
No,
it?
What'll happen? I'll send you, or one of us will send you the recorded decision with the clerk, and it'll say, you have a 20-day appeal period. It's recorded and has a date on it.
Okay,
Gotcha.
great.
It'll say March 1st. So then you just keep track of it. They won't call you at the clerk's office because they got a million of these. So you want to call 21 days. You say, hey, can I come pick up my appeal? My letter of no appeal, and it's pretty easy.
Great.
Okay.
Thank you.
Fantastic.
Sure. Okay.
Great. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you so much for
Thank
the
you.
time.
We appreciate your
and support.
time.
Sure. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
That
Good luck.
closes the public hearing on this case. And the next item on our agenda, Bill has it written up, ZBA updates and housekeeping.
Right. So
And the first item is we need a vice chair and we need new members. Right, Bill?
that's right. Yeah. We
So, go ahead.
right now, since Paige has departed and is now a conscommer, we will need a vice chair who will also we should probably call vice chair clerk. And then we have to, we have, if Brad is interested in moving to full-time, I think, did you talked to Brad already about this, I believe? Is it, Brad, is that
Yes.
right?
Yes. And I filled out the application with the town.
Oh, okay, you already did. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Oh, great. Okay, all right. So, and then, Janice is, wanted just to kind of see and get an idea so she can, see if it's something she may be interested in as well. So with that, I would say, have you been notified yet, Brad, if that they received everything for that, and they'll usually schedule you for a select board meeting, although typically you don't have to go if you're already on a board, but
Yeah, no, I haven't received anything.
okay, all right. So I'll just leave it to the board to discuss everything and I can make happen whatever you want.
Okay.
Oh, Paul, quick
Yeah, go ahead,
question,
George.
statement, I guess, and maybe it's for Bill. So Brad's been an alternate, I think. Am I right, Brad? Yes?
Yes,
That's okay. So now you're going to become a full board member.
correct.
So after that, so Bill, we're looking for 2 alternates now, am I right?
Correct. 2 alternates.
Okay. And who needs to be a vice chair or what are the requirements for that?
Well,
Somebody who isn't me.
yeah, that's the first qualification.
Well, I mean, not me either, but I just wanted to know what's
I'm gonna
required.
nominate you, Jerry.
Why not you?
Yeah, I think Jerry would be a
Why not
great,
you?
great choice.
I chair the school building committee, I chair the senior center committee. I'm good.
In
Okay.
our case, really, because the minutes we have a professional transcriber that does them. That's there's really it's basically pinch hitting for Paul. And if there's a reason, for example, that he had to recuse himself or something like this, you'd fill in. Just like okay, something always happens. Paul's going to be a vacation guy more and more probably, so he'll if things like that filling in, but it's not. I don't think it's too much of a heavy lift. But you do get a little more involved with stuff, so I don't know.
I've been doing a lot of emails back and forth with Bill on one topic or another, trying to clean up the code and the bylaws in certain areas.
Well, yeah, and
Stuff like
everybody
that.
and everybody's been working on side projects with me pretty much. So you guys are in the thick of it already. Whatever. Most of the stuff that's going on.
So I have a suggestion, because I sense a little hesitancy here, is that we don't have to have a formal vice chair, but we could just have a round robin. You're it this time. And then the next person, they get it the next time, if I can't make it or something.
I think we do have to. I think you do have to have a vice chair or a clerk, however you want to call it. I believe. Look, I can check the charter if you want real quick, but I promise you it's not too heavy a lift, but you would have to chair if Paul's not there. Let me see here.
Yeah, my shoes are small.
Well, my feet are big, so I'm sorry, Paul.
Let's see here. I would say I'm looking it up, but I would have a discussion now that there. I've never heard of like a not having a chair, a vice chair, or something that somebody can designate to fill in.
Okay. Well, I just offered that as a thought.
Yeah.
Maybe we could make it semi-formal that, one of you is on deck for the next 6 months, and then we have another vote. Somebody else does it for another 6 months or something.
Planning on going on vacation anytime soon, Paul?
I've been doing a lot of stuff remote, like in Western New York,
Mhm.
cleaning up my son's house and stuff. And then going down to Florida to visit our one and only grandchild. So
Mhm.
I might even drop in where is it? Tampa? Is that where you're hanging out, Jerry?
No, Fort Myers, but I'm not going to give you the address now that I know you probably. Sorry.
Well, I'm going all the way down to Homestead.
Oh,
Well, we can't
okay.
have the vice chair and the chairman in the same spot at the same time, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. True.
That's right.
So Bill and Paul, I mean, I would certainly, I would consider this. I don't know that I'm qualified to the level that Paul is right now. If I had to take a meeting, I would definitely need some guidance. And I'd have to print up you know, because you'll notice that a lot of times I'll second on a motion,
Yeah.
but I let the motion expert, that'd be Leslie, make the motion, and I'm very happy to. And I agree with the motion, and I comprehend the motion, but getting all the verbiage right, I kind
And
of
I
back
understand
off.
that. Well, typically I have that in the staff report.
Yeah,
So, and I'll be there for you in that, you know.
yeah. I mean, I can do it, and I don't usually print up the staff report, but I can have it in front of me. I don't have a problem with that. I mean,
And honest to
not
God,
at all.
it's not too much of a, it's just having somebody that we can plug in a pinch. I don't
Okay.
think it's,
And just to reinforce that, there's been a few times when Paige ran a meeting because I was out of town or, you know, something was wrong with me. And Bill passed the notes to me afterwards just to make sure that, you know, I was on board with how it was said and so on. So there's checks and balances here.
Okay. I've been involved with enough town committees over the years, and I still am, as some of you already know,
Yeah.
good, bad, or indifferent, but
Yeah.
I have no problem with it.
all of you are
I
on.
would take it if somebody wanted me to take it, and if you don't, that's fine too.
I second the
Jerry?
motion.
Me too.
All in
Jerry,
favor?
That
It'll
was a
make you
little
feel
too,
better, Jerry. It'll make you
that
feel
was
better,
a,
Jerry. I'll second the motions for everything that you do, so.
that was a little too quick.
Man, that was a pounce.
Yeah.
Jerry, you didn't
Wow.
see everybody else just take one step back, did you?
Oh, we appreciate it, Jerry. I think it'll be okay.
Yep.
Just bring us some palm trees or something nice back from the south.
Sure. I'll send some fresh fruit up. Yeah. I'll send some sunshine. We had about 8 to 10 inches of sunshine today. It fell all day. Beautiful. But you guys had a good day. It was warm up there today. It was in the
Yeah.
40s, I
It
think.
rained and snowed today.
Oh, that's great. Sorry.
The last time I was out 2 weeks ago and I come back and there's 2 inches of ice on my deck, literally 2 inches of
Oh.
solid ice.
Yeah.
Because it's rained on top of snow and then went into the deep freeze. It took me a week to chip that ice off.
Did it really?
So let's move on to our next item. And this is one that sort of caught me by surprise. Bill asked a question and I said, you know, he's right. We don't have any formal rules and regulations. And he showed me what the planning board has. It's a whole set of protocols as to how they do business and everything. We've had some stabs at it in the past, but we haven't got anything current and formal of how we conduct a meeting and what happens and so on and so forth. So I drafted something and it went into the abyss, and I don't know if Bill's picked it up yet.
Huh?
Didn't I send you a draft rules and regulations? See what I mean? It disappeared.
You did?
Yeah, about a month ago.
Oh my God. Are you sure? I believe you, but it's not. Let's see. Well, rules and regulations, zoning board. I don't have it. I didn't make.
I'll have to resend it then, if I can find it here on my
Oh,
phone.
the one for 2.6, the hearing application, maybe? Edits to the hearing application?
Maybe that's it. Because that was like the beginning of it or something. And I wanted to get some feedback. And that's right, it was that, and then we were going to get into the full-blown rules and regulations.
There's nothing on it.
Yeah, it was 2 documents, and I only did one. I didn't do the
Yeah,
other.
could you just resend it, Paul? I apologize if it did. I don't, this doesn't look like it. It says, can you clarify any items I flagged? And I remember you sending that and then
Yeah.
looking at it and I don't see anything that you flagged. Oh, wait. Yes, I do. Yeah, okay. No, I dropped the ball. I'll put this on my list. I missed it. But so it's a hearing
That's not the
application.
formal. That's not the formal rules and regulations. That was, I think, just how to conduct a meeting.
Yeah, it was a hearing application. That's why I got mixed up. Okay.
Yeah. But the rules and regulations is something similar to what planning board has, but I have not written anything on that yet.
Well, I gave you the template. Remember, I had the template that I made with it. So Do you want me to take this and review this and give you feedback on the
Yeah, do that because then that'll be the basis for
okay.
rules and regs.
But should we have a chance to read it before the next meeting, or you want to go over it during the meeting?
Well, there's nothing to read yet.
I know, but
Yeah, we should look at it and edit it offline and then come back and say, yeah, this is good, this is bad.
Yeah. Yeah, and it can be, it's something we just post and we just adopt. It's not like a big deal. Like compared to like a zoning bylaw, it's not like that. But
like what sorts of things does it,
Yeah.
it's not like you can't show up in blue jeans. What are you getting at?
you mean what's going to be, and what is the purpose of planning board? I mean, of zoning board rules and regs?
Yeah.
Well, it's like, remember how I shown you guys when you're looking for dark sky compliant, when I showed you the rules and regulations, they basically implement the zoning bylaws for your group. So for example, you can have regulations that clarify how you're going to implement the zoning bylaws. So let's say you had a policy that you decided, I'll give you an easy one. Every application shall have a justification statement stating why this application, the board should consider this application. Okay. So something like that. Now we wouldn't put that in the zoning bylaws. That'd be like, the bylaws would be like a phone, like a Manhattan phone book. So that kind of thing would be something we would put in there. Maybe Paul would say, let me think, what's a good one? Let's just say, for argument's sake, we decided, all right, we don't want resubmitted items. Like if, let's say we had a continued hearing, we must have any resubmitted item a week prior to the hearing date. Okay, so we could say something like that. You could say, now, for example, like with, oh, geez, I did have it here. You're right. But yeah, you get that?
Yeah, so what I'm thinking is some of the things that would be nice to have in the rules and regulations is if the application is not complete, we can either refuse the application or postpone it. And that would be something in our rules and regs, so that where I'm coming from, what Bill really tickled me on here is if we have a very grumpy applicant and we don't follow our rules explicitly, he can take us to task and go through an appeal process. And if we followed the rules as we had said they were, because we've got them written down, then he doesn't have anything to argue about. Because, one thing that gets me is, we need a plot plan of the property, for any kind of variance or setback issues. And if they don't supply a civil engineered plot plan, what good's the application? Because we're supposed to trust the civil engineer, not the homeowner. Things like that. So, and there's a bunch of these as you think through, as we go through these different applications, there's a bunch of them that we just do by nature that should be written down. Like your dark sky stuff, Leslie. I didn't realize how many of these little things there are that we should consider. Pervious pavement for a driveway, the sky, the lights, and there's, I think Bill was going to put together a list of those guys.
Last meeting, I think that we talked about that, about putting together a checklist.
Yeah.
Opposed to, yeah.
And that's part of this rules and regulations. We shall consider all of these environmental factors for each application.
Yep, that works. I mean, it gives us the guidance, and it also gives us some protection against the grumpy petitioner who says, well, you didn't do X, Y, Z. We could say, well, given the rules and regs, you didn't supply X. So we had to postpone it. All right, good, good. So that's protection on both sides.
Yep.
So a checklist and rules and regs, I think, would just help frame what we do, because we're going to still do what we do and have done, but this just helps frame it.
It would
I
probably
think.
be one and the same. It'd probably be in the same,
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
end. And anything that's already, you don't want to reinvent the wheel. So anything
Correct.
that's already done, like for example, with the dark sky compliant, we're not going to repeat whatever that is in the bylaws or whatever. So eventually just say the board shall, utilize the planning board's guide for dark sky compliance or the zoning bylaws guide for dark sky compliance or whatever. So and the same thing would be, anything like that. It's just giving additional stuff. And
one thing that we do that's subtly different from the way the Mass General laws are written is that when the applicant submits his request, who checks it? It's supposed to be the applicant. Bill checks it for us. Bill does all the legwork to make sure the application's complete. And so it's up to Bill to take care of that, to file it with the town clerk and so on and so forth, to get the application started. Where in fact, the state statutes say that it's the applicant that does all that. And so if we're going to codify that in our rules and regs, that it's up to Bill to make sure the application is complete, we got to be careful that if the application is not complete, who do we blame? So having it written up in the application process, that was the first document that I drafted, would say what we're supposed to be doing.
And I think to add to that too, is there a checklist for, Bill, I know you probably mentally have your own checklist, but is there a checklist for, checking that documentation to make sure all the boxes are ticked off before we accept an applicant and move forward?
generally, yeah. The problem I've run into, and I gotta make a judgment call with the ZBA, is sometimes it's not practical to do to require a whole, like a guy comes in for a special permit for I don't know, can't think of a use right now, but the coffee maker. Okay, we're not going to ask him to do a traffic study of the town or stuff like this. So I kind of tailor it to what the board would need to respond to the requests being made. So for example, like tonight, where there's a question of of measurements and this, yeah, of course, we need plans that show, what's being proposed. On the other hand, if there was no change being made to the building at all, and the use was going to be a accountant, or something. Well, that's a bad example now, but kind of tailor it with common sense, for that sort of thing. And the checklists that I have are exhaustive. So when I get a larger package in, well, when eventually if Avalon ever does come in, I mean, that's one where I need to go, like, I just go and I need to go write down everything that can be required and would be, but it's not, you have to keep it in scale, I guess is what I'm saying. So, the discretion.
Our rules and regulations then need to be accurate, but forgiving.
Mm-hmm.
And that's going to take some wordsmithing to make that work.
Yeah. But once it's done, I think everybody will like it.
Yep.
And we can all take a look at it and a crack at it.
So,
and we could just a second on this one. We could actually take it and even put the rules and regs against, maybe we take one night after a particular hearing, and we take two, cases over the last year and put them against the rules and regs, say that they fit. Would these rules and regs would this checklist have worked with that? Like, if we had it in place, or would it have helped? Or would it have highlighted something? I don't know, but put it against some real cases.
Yeah. One thing I would definitely add would be like what now with the the ruling from the AG that we've been using, which makes it a lot easier with single family homes, but we should put that in our rules and regs. This is what we do. We should probably put that, I'm trying to think of and if we had any really difficult cases.
One that came to mind just now was, I don't know if you remember the corner of Acton Street where that business property had all the dump trucks being stored and they wanted to put a fence on it. And one comment that I made during that was, okay, I'm closing the public comment period, or however I phrased it. And somebody in the audience, that was one of those virtual ones, got really testy with me because I was closing the public hearing. And I was closing the public comments. At least I thought that's what I was doing.
Right.
But even if I did close the public hearing, we should be allowed to deliberate after the closure of the public hearing and issue our decision within so many days of closing the hearing.
Yes, the law. It's law. There's
right.
It's
And
very
so to be able to state that in English, not in MGL gobbledygook, would be very useful to make sure that we can explain to somebody why we're doing what we're doing. And that's the kind of stuff that's there. Yeah, we don't have anything right now. We just rely on MGL to say that's what we're doing. So I think this is a work in progress. Bill and I'll do some work on it, pass it by you guys, and if you agree, then it's the way we're going to try to do what we're doing, but do it according to the book.
Good. I think it'll be helpful.
Since we're not an enforcement agent and Rick is, I don't know if there's any mechanism for us to know what Rick's findings are, like when does he go and inspect? Has everything been done, all the I's dotted and the T's crossed? Because I wonder about that sometimes.
Yeah, that's a good, and a lot of people ask that too when we have a complaint form now, like for we get a lot of complaints every day for something, one thing or the other. And people ask, well, okay, I sent in a complaint about this particular thing, I never heard back. And sometimes Rick's out. I don't know all the stuff he does if I don't send him. Like I sent him out to somebody. I don't think does it any good for me to say who, but I sent him out this morning on a property where I had a report of something that wasn't supposed to be going on. And typically it's a question of if it's a complaint and the complaint's taken care of, just let it lie. If it's a zoning non-compliant issue, like for example, I see on tomorrow, one of the things, I have a guy that owes the town of some funds for trees. Now tomorrow, it's on my calendar. I mean, I can see it here. So something like that, we put on a calendar reminder, and if it hasn't come in, we just say, hey, to be in compliance with your special permit, we need money for the tree, or whatever the case may be. So it can vary, but for like the stuff that we do, like if it's within 2 years you're going to do this or whatever, that just goes on our calendar. But if it's a response to a complaint, like somebody's I don't know, skinning a goat in their front yard or something like that, well, that's something that Rick handles, and I may not even know about it, or somebody. So, but if there's something specific, like if the board said, hey, we wanted to make sure that, there was a compliance at this location, that's something one of us will do. And if it's like go make sure it's there, that's easy. If we haven't done it, somebody go out and do it. And if it's
to follow up on Leslie's question, though, we've made some decisions, some special permit applications or approvals and so on. How do we know that those special permits have been honored?
Well, it depends what the honor is, you
Well,
know?
let me give you an example.
Okay.
Remember the lawnmower repair shop?
Yeah.
He was supposed to put up a fence.
Right.
I used him to repair my lawnmower.
Did you?
This was a year after he got the special permit, and he said, "Oh yeah, I got to put up a fence," and he hasn't put up the fence yet. When is he supposed to have that fence put up?
That's supposed to be up, and that was, but the reason that everything got suspended on that was when we went into the home-based businesses. But typically, though, that's a perfect example. So but that's a good example. So what would have happened on that now, or what we've done, if we would say whatever it was, like within 6 months or whatever, I just have a reminder, or OMS has a reminder now, a system on the calendar. So it says, okay, 24 Maple Street is the fence up. Like I said, I've got one. I know I have one tomorrow that a guy owes us funds. I don't know if he paid or not, but they'll check it up. Could something slip through the cracks now? Probably, but it's much better than it was. And in general, we're on it. The home-based businesses there's going to be a, kind of a carryover for that because the way we set it up. But all in all, that's worked out. And we haven't had any.
Okay,
but
but your comment on home-based business taking precedence on that lawnmower thing, he still has to put up a fence because it was screening all the junk in his driveway.
The question, but the question is, the question with that one is, I can check with town council, make sure we're right, but I think Rick's point was that, okay, the bylaws in now make all the special permits for home businesses that it trumps them. And the idea is that everybody's considered a type B, or wait, which was A or B? Which was the one you don't need the permit for? A, unless there's complaints about it. And that's kind of where we started, because we also had a problem with other like chasing down a permit from, let's say there's a special permit that was done 5 years ago. And now it's expired, but they don't need a permit anymore because of the bylaw change. Who do we ever know? But as we get our feet under us, yeah, all that will be. But that's generally how that's done, Leslie, to answer your question. So to make ensure you're asking about compliance with a special permit more than a complaint. Yeah, that's how it's done.
Like, for example, a couple of months ago, that person on Great Road that wanted to convert his porch, and we said, well, you have to have dark sky compliant lighting. Well, how do we know if he ever did that?
Oh, Rick checks that when he does a building sign off. That's if it's like a building inspector stuff where he's going to be out there.
Yeah,
there's a special permit required. Rick has the permit with him, so he checks it before he gets the permit. So that kind of stuff's pretty easy. With that, so when Rick, if it requires, like these guys tonight, the way it's supposed to work is they're going to go pull a permit from Rick after their appeal period is up. The permit's going to say dark sky compliant lighting. And that was the only thing we had, right? The only thing.
Yeah.
But let's say there was something else that had to be done. When Rick goes out for the building permit, he's gonna know, okay, there has to be a dark sky compliant lighting. And when he goes to do his final inspections, he's gonna look, he's gonna say it's not dark sky compliant, or it's not a pervious driveway, or it's not a, whatever. Yeah, that's the way it's supposed to work. It's we're getting better and better with that, but it's pretty good. But I'm sure we've missed stuff.
Well, good. I think we've dealt with that in our rules and regs. The last item here is residential zoning group update. Brad, do you have anything to share with us?
Yeah, let's see. But the only thing that has changed is I've been working on filling out the going through the maps and checking off the boxes. There's a spreadsheet now that I've been filling in. And I haven't had a lot of time in the last month or two, but I have spent about 4 or 5 hours on it, which has got me through another map. I think I've got about 4 more maps to go for the S2, and they don't look like they're a very dense S2 population of houses. So I should probably be able to get through that one fairly fast. And then once I get through the S2, I'll make sure that the spreadsheet actually works, and I'll take it over to Zoe or whoever, Julie or whoever it is that's going to be using it, and give it a test run and see if it all works.
Yeah.
Because right now, I don't know if it makes sense to go over there spend their time to have them go through and do, 25 properties to see if they work.
Yeah.
Yeah, right now, because as Julia's moved departments and stuff, we're still hiring. So we're a little bit short staffed. We lost our health agent and our conservation agent. We're trying to hire right now. So it's a little bit tough for us now. So a little, the more time on that one, the better for us. If Brad's working, and then we'll try to get it. And if we have to, if Brad thinks ultimately we need technical assistance, we can apply for that too. So, but we'll see. But I think Brad's system's been pretty cool the way it is right now. If we can figure out how to get it integrated in GIS.
Right.
Good. Excellent. This has been good, guys. Taking a moment to just review things and hopefully we didn't scare that lady away, because we do need extra bodies.
Yeah, I met with her for about a half hour the other day. She seemed pretty good.
Mhm.
And
Hey,
she's
Bill,
very
one
familiar.
question. So
Yeah.
there was a rumor that remote meetings are going out the window next month. Is that true or not?
Yeah, that's a great question. I said, Paul, you got
Our
that.
vice chair is going to be very interested in that, I think.
Yeah. Every
Oh,
That's
Okay.
why I accepted the position, because I knew it was going to go away, and said, geez, I'd like to do it, guys, but I can't. I'm down here. I'm sorry. Thanks,
Yeah.
John.
Yeah, you're right. It expires at the end of March. And in fact, I'm gonna have to. This happened 2 years ago too, before they extended it, and I'm gonna have to make it a hybrid meeting in the next one if I don't hear it, but typically they pop through at the last minute. Now the difference is this session is that everybody's had enough of this 2-year stuff, and he said, "Come on, let's get a permanent." So there's legislation has been filed to make it permanent. So we'll see how that goes. It's kind of stupid at this point. They're doing another 2 years. Everybody likes it, and everybody likes the option. And there's not, but yeah, I'm optimistic that it will get done. But I've been optimistic about things that didn't get done before too. But
don't
Tough
tell
luck, Bill.
Elon that don't tell Elon if we're meeting remotely. He may just come in.
Yeah.
I mean, one of the problems with, eliminating the remote, I mean, right now, we're looking for 2 new members. If the remote ends, now you're gonna look for 3 new members, because, 7 months a year, I'm here.
Yeah,
I can't belong, so I have to leave.
of course. Right.
So, and there are people on the school building committee, that's a 21-member committee.
Right.
If this goes away, we're gonna, some people are dialing in they're driving home, or they're on
Yeah.
vacation, or they're still participating. But all of a sudden, we're gonna get things shrink way down. I just think too many people are too used to this. You can have hybrid meetings. We do with
Yeah.
the senior center committee. It's hybrid. If you want to go to town hall, you can go. If you want to dial in, you can dial in. Your preference. That can work.
Yeah, everybody and everybody has been howling about this for last year in the planning circles, because the guy, like, I personally like with the reason I like it with the zoning board. Otherwise, I don't care about my other boards as much if I'm there anyway. But like Mondays, we get out, the town hall closes at 4, and I'd sit there until 7, and I would well, I can only play so much Scrabble, right? but you know, it's so I like it from that standpoint. I can do it from home. You know, remember in the old days I used to be confined to my basement, but now at least I'm up in, you know,
Wow.
401s. It's keep that rocket down. with your goofy pals on this internet. Turn that off.
Yeah.
It's like, but yeah, I think it will, because everybody really and the other thing is, if we're going from the other standpoint, it increases the public participation and you know, people that can't get there. It's like, come on. I mean, why would you not?
Right.
We've been limited, knock on wood, to a few Zoom bombs, but other than that, everything's been good.
Well, and the other thing too is it's not like, Leslie brought up the fact with what's happening with the federal government and people, they're getting, I know a few people who make over 200,000 a year and they work about an hour a day. You know, if they doubled our salary, we'd still make zero. So, I mean, this is all volunteer.
I understand.
So
Yeah.
you're going to tell a volunteer, well, yeah, I know it's icy out tonight, but you got a meeting, you got to drive to town hall. I'm sorry, I don't think I want to belong to that anymore. That's it.
There's no argument.
I think it's going to extend
Or
or become permanent.
Just pass it permanent. You know why?
Yeah.
Come on.
Yep. Agreed.
Jerry, if you quit, you're not able to collect. So just so you know.
Oh, man. Oh, but will I get severance? Will I get severance pay?
You'll get you get a good severance for your.
Yeah, I'll check the mail every day
based on your salary for this. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you very much, John. The support is just wonderful. All right.
Yeah, this has been a good meeting, guys.
Yeah.
So to formally close the meeting, do we want to do a motion kind of thing?
So moved.
Okay.
Second?
Third, fourth.
All right. So until next time, when is next time, Bill? Do you know when next time is?
Yeah, it is. I don't know if we have anything yet, but we probably will be scheduled. Oh, wait a minute. It is March 24th.
Yep.
24th. And I know because I have a conflict. That's not a big conflict, but March 24th. And it's possible Zoe may start the meeting, but we'll it'll be taken care of one way or the other, or Steve.
Okay, good.
Don't you want to know what the conflict is?
Of course.
Go ahead. So where are you going?
I'm not going anywhere. No, it's AICP. We're doing an AICP course that is from 6 to starts at 6 and then it's like it's 30 or something.
So
okay, so what's AICP?
American Institute of Certified Planners.
Wow.
No.
So I'm the professional development officer for Massachusetts now. Like
very good.
And so I got to get these little brats up to speed.
So on the 24th, I won't be able to make it.
Well, luckily we have a co-chair.
So you guys knew all this.
Sandbag
earlier tonight. Oh man.
Jerry, just think about the monthly pay that you get.
Yeah, I know it. I know it. Yeah, this is going to be great. Oh, this is wonderful.
I have family visiting, and that evening I got to get them to the airport.
Well, you can do it remote. So you can do it from your car.
Uber.
Yeah, do an Uber. You can sit in the back seat. Yeah.
Anyhow, so I'm sorry, the 24th I'm booked that evening.
Well, two things then. One, so if Bill can't be here, you can't be here. Do we want to push it to a different night? Well, we don't have anything, I think Bill indicated.
I don't think we do at the moment. I think that might be something worth considering. Let me see how when I get in the next week or so and see how that shakes out. We might be worth doing. We haven't continued anything, so we have the freedom to do it.
Okay. Yeah, we shouldn't have to jump through hoops. I mean, if there's nothing urgent, we either postpone or we change the night.
No, I don't look for night meetings. I'm over that. I don't
Yeah,
look-
you're very outspoken about this issue.
Do we already have any applications?
No,
No.
no, I don't. Not at
Hmm.
the moment. So it'd be probably a tough. I don't think so. But remember, I was out, so I haven't even caught up from everything. I was out for a week. I'll know. I don't think so though. But
Yeah.
there could be.
So one last question for you, Bill.
Yeah.
You had asked me for some questions to send to the attorney, town council. And one of
About-
them was, can we use the local daily or monthly, the local weekly newspaper as our
Yeah.
advertising media?
Yeah.
And I see other towns doing it. Maynard
Right.
does it on occasion, but
Right.
she was very adamant that we can't do it because it reaches every house in town.
Right. I'm meeting with her tomorrow. So I haven't sent it's sitting there in her list. I have a list for her.
Okay.
And we'll try again and ask her about using the Action Unlimited. I don't understand. I don't know. You know,
Because that reaches, I would say, 30 times as many people as a newspaper subscription does in town.
yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, no cards. Well, yeah, I mean, I think the select board even uses it. I'm not sure.
Yes,
But
I've
yeah.
seen select board. I've seen who's the chief honcho in your department there?
Steve,
No, above Steve.
that's it.
Wilson, is it?
Greg,
Oh, Greg Wilson, he's the TA,
Greg.
yeah.
Yeah,
Town administrator, yeah.
yeah, he's used it.
Yeah.
Acton uses it. Stowe, Boxborough uses it.
Hey, Bill, affordable housing uses it to advertise for like the lotteries and rent reduction stuff. So
It's
we definitely use it.
I agree. I mean, I agree. We need that, and we need the permanent meetings, the remotes, but I'm trying.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I have one separate question that's not
Yeah.
really relevant. It just sort of came up when John mentioned affordable housing.
Yeah.
I did notice that on Main Street, McDonald has posted what affordable housing prices are for a 2-bedroom, 1-bath in Maynard. It
Insane.
is $2,300 a month for rent.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Insane.
Not too affordable.
Well, we're working on this. Well, all right. I
So
got
that's the going rate, is it?
You want good news about that? I'll give you good news about that, John Corvell. So listen to this. Your pal on the Affordable Housing Trust and I, Mr. Cranshaw, we drafted for bonus units where if you have to meet your 10% affordable with a new project.
Correct.
But
Yep.
listen to this. So we were saying before, you can have bonus units as long as you go and add 1-for-1 with affordable up to a certain point. So now we're saying, because that was at 80%, but we're saying
Now I want 60, right?
right.
60, yep.
getting 2. So you
Yep.
can get credit for 2.
Yep.
So that is
He got that from our meeting.
Proactive.
The affordable meeting.
yeah. How about that? See, you need results, they come in.
Yeah.
So
Interesting.
that's what I got. We're trying. I mean, government works slow. I'm old. I work slow.
You're from the 1900s, Bill?
No.
I wonder what his non-affordable units are going for. That's
Market rate, probably. So whatever the market rate is.
wow.
Can you? I mean, it's unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know how he's going to put 3 or 4 in the old fire station. I don't know how he's going to do that. But unless they're going to be micros.
No, that should work. I think. I don't know. I haven't gotten the plans though.
Huh.
So I hope so. But you know, I need those affordable units anyway for other reasons, as you know.
Mhm.
So
Another year safe harbor. Let's do it.
I want to get permanent. I'm at 9.8. Like
Oh.
9.8. I
It
literally
must be killing you, Bill.
this I am literally trying to buy down with your money. AAC. I want to get one stinking unit, and then we're at 10%. One unit.
So I have an apartment in my house, and
Oh.
I'm charging about half the rent that Brad mentioned.
John, let's get it.
Let's get it.
Let's get it. You get your boys over there in the morning, and we're at 10%.
Yeah.
So Brad, what was your number? 2,300?
Yes, 2,300 a month. Yeah, 2,300 a month is for the 2-bedroom. One
Two
bath.
bedroom. I got a 2-bedroom for 13.
Jeez.
Well, you're making all the rest of us landlords look bad.
Yeah.
Does it have plumbing, Paul?
Yes, it does. Out the back door.
Hey, John, why couldn't we do that?
I think it's got to be like there's got to be like 4 before we can claim 1, isn't it? Or because if he's below the threshold of how many he has within his property.
No, but if he stayed, if Paul wanted to keep it at like, if he's at 80% of market rate, and we got him to sign just because he wants to help the town, if we got him to sign a 25-year commitment, he's going to stay at 80%. We're home free.
Can he go to Section 8? And that would work?
I don't know.
And then the state, if you go Section 8, then Paul, you'll get a big raise.
But the problem with going Section 8 is I can't control who moves in.
Right.
Correct.
Someone else controls who gets the spot.
Yeah.
Yeah, so let's make you affordable, and then we'll put you'd be listed for free. Do you have anybody in there now?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Let's get them out, and we'll
No.
get
No. Get him on. Get him on, not out.
no, we get them out for today, so they're out, and then we get them back in, and then they cut it. All right, that's all I got, guys.
All
All
right.
right. Have a good night, everybody.
This
Thanks.
was a good meeting. Thanks,
Yeah.
Good night, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
I don't know how to turn this off now. Let's try.